Your heels go right to the outside edges of the hips, and if you want to take your hands and roll the outsides of your calves down towards the floor. And you can also push your inner thighs in and down a little bit more if you'd like. And then just hands are going to rest right underneath the belly. So left hand there and then right on top, thumbs touch. And it's opposite for men. And then close your eyes and just sit tall for a few moments. So anchoring those sit bones down, lift through the crown of the head and create space in the spine. And just by closing the eyes, we allow the mind to turn inward, starting to shift the brain waves from active beta to more relaxed alpha. And then concentrate your awareness down in your abdomen and just begin a few rounds here of smooth diaphragmatic breathing. So just the swelling of the belly on inhalation and then the contracting of the abdomen back towards the spine on exhalation. So that smooth breathing, inhaling, exhaling, right in the belly is also a cue for the mind to calm down, for the nervous system to stabilize. And while you're belly breathing, there's very little movement in the chest. It's primarily located in the abdomen. And notice as you're breathing, is there some areas where it's not smooth, some areas where there might be a jump or a catch or hiccup? And can you relax a little more deeply, feeling yourself internally soften? And see if that makes the breath be a little more smooth, a little more balanced. Good. And as you feel that shift starting to happen in the body and the mind, you can add in a soft ujjayi breath, just a soft ocean wave or whisper type sound. And as that comes into your breath, it's just another way for the mind to tune out all the thoughts and all the vrittis, the fluctuations, and focus its attention on the breath. You can even imagine it like an ocean wave, that sound of the wave rushing in and then receding back. And then as you're breathing in this way, begin to slow it down a little bit and see if we can deepen it. So by the beginning of the inhalation, the belly will swell and then move it up into the rib cage. Let the rib cage widen a little bit. And then on the exhalation again, the belly will pull back towards the spine and the rib cage will come closer together. So you're moving it up in the body a little bit, but not involving the chest too much yet. And the reason for this is that the nervous system, the nerves that respond to our stress or flight or fight, they are primarily in the upper torso. So by expanding the breath into that area, we begin to activate the more stimulated part of our nervous system. And for a few more rounds here, let's just stay in that calm, stable part of the nervous system. Now on your next breath, breathe into the belly and then into the rib cage. And now see if you can grow it up into the chest. Heart expands, and then exhale, contract the abdomen. Bring the rib cage closer together, let the chest soften. So a few rounds here of that full breath. Inhaling belly, ribs, chest. Exhaling belly, ribs, chest. And last one, please. And at the completion, bring your hands together in front of your heart. Let your thumbs touch your sternum and bow your head to your hands. So I think about the world and all the busyness that's going on right now, all the distraction, all the ways in which our attention's being pulled. And you think about a cup of water, and say there's sediment in the water. And at times it feels like the cup is being stirred up, and all that sediment in the water makes the water seem very cloudy. But if we sit and we get stable and we slow down, just like resting that glass of water on a table for a while, all the sediment will eventually settle down to the bottom. And what we have on the top is crystal clear water, or in our case, crystal clear seeing. So I'd like to use the practice today to really settle everything down so that we feel that sense of being grounded and stable to assist in our clear seeing. And if there's anything in your life right now that's asking for some assistance in this area, please bring that into your intention now. And place it in your heart, surround it with unconditional love. We'll begin with the chant of Om 3 times. Deep inhale in. And a long exhale out. Another deep inhale in. Just lower your chin to your chest and gradually open your eyes, taking your time to come back into the room. We'll release the block from between our ankles. Come onto our hands and knees for just a moment and extend one leg back. Stretch through the heel of that foot. Let some blood flow into the leg and then switch. Extend the other leg back, tuck the toes, and stretch through the heel of that foot. And then just alternate legs, right and left. Maybe give a little bit of a bounce there to the heel. Just pumping that blood through the body. And then we're going to begin in child's pose. So knees wide, toes touched behind you. Extend the arms forward, forehead to the mat. And settle everything in. So as you're settling in here, feel the forehead relaxing more deeply into the earth, the heart softening a little bit closer towards the earth, and then the sit bones reaching just a little bit more as we were doing before, so that belly, ribs, chest, exhaling belly, ribs, chest. Good. 2 more breaths here, please. Now bring your hands underneath your shoulders, elbows out wide. Let your forehead stay down, and then just roll back and forth a little bit on the forehead. And just feel like you're massaging those very subtle muscles that are right there underneath the skin. Just back and forth, releasing any tension there. And now make smaller circles. So tuck your chin into your chest and just kind of roll up under the crown and then come down. Just small little circles here. Again, a little massage for this area of the body. Our frontal lobe is so overworked these days. Trying to process, again, all that information that's rapidly coming in. And then go in the other direction. Good, and then extend the arms one more time in front of you. Come up onto the fingertips. Let the heart dip even more towards the earth. Draw the heads of the shoulders down into their sockets. One more deep breath here. And then pad your hands back down towards your knees. Push into the earth. And one vertebrae at a time, roll up through the spine. Just roll the shoulders out when you come back up into seated. And then bring your knees together, sitting on your heels for just a moment. Point the fingertips toward the toes. Press down through the palms. And as you lift the heart, lift the sternum, stretch into the tops of the shoulders. And just breathe here for a few moments. Long inhale, long exhale. Again, any gripping that may have occurred in the body throughout the week, feel it releasing here, down through the arms, and give it away into the earth. And then roll off your fingertips, sit tall for just a moment. And as you're sitting tall on your heels, as long as that's comfortable, if it's not comfortable, you can go back to using the block between the ankles. But we're going to make fists with our hands. And you want to take a thumb in these fists to create a little massage in the digestive organs. So hands go right into the abdomen. Take a full inhale here. And as you exhale, you're going to fold over your legs, moving right back into that child's pose. And then hands go into the soft part of the belly. And very gently just do a little bit of those circles into the abdomen. Don't cause any strain, stress, or pain. Just allow just a little massage to come in there, particularly in the area of the diaphragm, down a little lower there into the intestines. And then when you need to breathe in, come back up to sit tall and take your full inhale. And then do it again. We're going to exhale here, fold over the legs. And hold that breath out. Start to make those massages, those circles into the abdomen. Notice maybe the second time you can go a little deeper. And then when you need to breathe in, sit tall onto your heels one more time. Okay, last one. We're going to exhale back over the legs. Fists go into that soft part. Holding the breath out, you're going to massage into that area, wherever the body feels like it's being called. And then inhale when you need to sit back up. Close your eyes for a moment and just feel some stimulation, some prana into the abdomen. Again, with all that information, it becomes difficult sometimes to digest. And we've been seeing this for many years now, the difficulty with digestion in our culture. You know, we're overloaded with so many things. How can we take the time to really sift through it all? And so doing these practices that help our mats, wrap our hands around the middle part of the arms, and then either interlace your fingers and press your forearms down, or spread your palms wide with your forearms parallel. Tuck the back toes under, lift your sit bones up and back, and come into dolphin variation of down dog, or forearm down dog. Now in this position, bend one knee and press the other heel down. And then bend the other knee and press the other heel down, and you can go back and forth a few times, just opening up the backs of the legs. Feel that sweet release there from the heel all the way up to the hip. And then find your feet hip distance apart. Turn your toes in slightly, heels out. Roll the inner thighs in and back. Really allow the sit bones to spread. And as you do, creating just a little more elongation through that spine, head and neck is completely relaxed here. Press down through your forearms so there's space in the shoulders. Head and neck just hang. And then as you're inhaling and exhaling, concentrate once again on breathing into the belly. So on the inhalation, the belly expands. On the exhalation, not only does the belly draw back towards the spine, but it moves up slightly under the rib cage. A couple rounds like that, please. Belly expanding on inhale, falling towards the back body and slightly up on exhale. One more. And then lower the knees to the floor. Sit bones to heels, and once again take child's pose, but this time hands by the heels for embryo. And just round the shoulders, let them melt towards the floor. Feel that grounding energy. Think of that sediment as settling down in that cup of water. Hands on the shoulders. Slowly roll up to sitting on your heels once again. And then just rest for a moment here. Good. We're going to come onto the toes, tucking them behind us, and come into squat. So we're going to keep the feet together. Draw the heels down as much as you can. Now, if you're like me and I can't get the heels all the way down, and you happen to have a block or a blanket nearby, place the blanket underneath the heels. That way you have a sense of grounding. There's a feeling of being connected to the earth. And then just bring the hands to the heart for a moment. Now let the weight really settle back into the heels. Let gravity do some of the work for you. Feeling the length there in the lower back. Keep the heart open. Breathe deeply here. And then we're going to keep the feet together. Let the knees open up wide and let the chest fall on the inside of the legs. So as deep as you can. Again, if you have that blanket under the heels, might feel a little more stable. Hands can stay in prayer. You're just going to let the weight of the upper body help deepen the stretch. Inner thighs are opening. Feeling that space in the groin. 2 more. Good. And then slowly come back to center. Squeeze the knees into one another. And we're going to lower the right fingertips to the right thigh. Inhale the left arm up. And then just very gently, we're going to take that left arm to the outside of the thigh. So just the palm is going to stay open. Squeeze those inner thighs and just bring in just a gentle twist. It doesn't have to be too much. Breathe deeply here. Just warming up the spine, preparing us for some opening. And then come back to center, left hand to thigh. Inhale the right arm up. And now take that hand to the outside of the left thigh. And again, just like a leverage, you got to push into the outside of the thigh and just bring a little gentle twist into the torso. One more here. And then slowly come back to center. Bring the fingertips down, straighten the legs. If you had your blanket, you could slide it out. And then just open the feet to hip distance apart. So hang into your standing forward fold, little micro bend in the knee. Let the upper body really soften. And now take your hands onto the backs of the legs. And just to help some of that blood flow out, you can just bring them down towards the heels. And do that again, starting at the glutes. Just slide down the backs of the legs. Again, encouraging that grounding energy, that releasing. And now we're going to hold on to either elbow. Let that provide some traction for the spine. Head and neck is completely relaxed here. Let the upper body really sink. So you can imagine the weight of the arms is like traction for the spine. And the more you relax, the easier it's going to be to open up. Now watch that tendency to sink in the heels. Come forward just slightly in the balls of the feet. And really feel balanced over the center of the foot. Breathe here. Notice if you're still using the belly to breathe, how on inhalation it presses into the thighs, and on exhalation the belly button surrenders back, creating just a little more room to fold. Two more, please. Noticing how you move down through the layers as you surrender. Good, and then release your hands. Just take a moment to notice how far down you are, maybe deeper than you were before. And then once again, we're going to bring our hands back onto the backs of the thighs. And we're going to do a little bit of variation of monkey pose. So squeezing those elbows behind you, lift the chest halfway up. Exhale, slide back down. Do it again. Inhale, squeeze the elbows, come halfway up. And exhale, slide back down. Inhale up, you want to have that flat back, crown reaching away from the tailbone. Exhale the navel in, surrender more completely over the legs. Inhaling. Exhaling. Two more, please, on your own. After you complete that last one, you're back in the forward fold. And we'll squeeze the elbows one more time to come halfway up. Extend the arms, press equally into the feet, turn the palms up, and rise all the way up to standing arms. Reach overhead. Exhale. Hands come down the center line to the heart. And then just close your eyes for a moment and feel just all that stability. Feel both feet anchored firmly into the floor. Okay, so we're going to be at the front of our mats for moon salutations. A little bit different than sun salutations. We're going to start with our feet hip distance or just slightly wider than hip distance apart. Hands together in front of the heart. Inhale, the arms reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Navel in. Turn the toes out, heels in. Come into wide squat, elbows on the insides of the knees, hands at the heart. And then exhale, bring the hands back down, turn the toes back in, standing forward fold. Step the right leg back, lower the knee, top of the foot, keep the fingers in a finger stand and lean the heart forward. Exhale, step back to downward facing dog. Inhale, tabletop position. Heart lifts. Exhale, navel back, child's pose. Inhale, come back up into tabletop position, heart lifts. Exhale, tuck the toes for downward facing dog. And this time you're going to take the right foot forward to the fingertips, lower the left knee down into the lunge. Exhale, step the back foot forward, standing forward fold. Turn the toes out, heels in. Inhale into squat. Exhale to forward fold. Inhale, lift and rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Okay, so that's one round. Let's do two. Exhale, forward fold. Toes out, heels in. Inhale to squat. Exhale to forward fold. Step the left leg back, lower the knee, top of the foot. Inhale into low lunge. Exhale, step back to down dog. Inhale to tabletop position. Heart is open. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, back into tabletop. And exhale, downward facing dog. Step the left foot forward, lower the right knee down. Inhale into low lunge. And then exhale, step the back foot forward and make sure your feet are about hip distance apart. Inhale, toes out, heels in, squat. Exhale, forward fold, turn the toes back in. Inhale, lift and rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Toes out, heels in, inhale, squat. Exhale, forward fold, toes back in. Right leg back, low lunge. Fingers in a finger stand, lean into it. Exhale, step back to downward facing dog. Inhale, knees to floor, tabletop. Exhale, navel in, child's pose. Inhale, back into tabletop. Exhale to downward facing dog. Right leg forward to the fingertips. Fingers in a finger stand, lean into the lunge. Exhale, forward fold, feet are hip distance. Inhale, toes out, heels in, squat. Exhale, forward fold. And once again, inhale, lift and rise up. Exhale to heart. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Toes out, heels in. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, left leg goes back. Lower knee, fingers in a finger stand, lean into the lunge. Exhale, step back to down dog. Inhale, tabletop. Heart is open. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, back to tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left leg forward, fingers in a finger stand, lean into it. Exhale, step the back foot forward, standing forward fold. Toes out, heels in, inhale into squat. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift and rise all the way up. Arms reach. Exhale, hands to heart. And we just inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, squat. Exhale, fold. Right leg back. Fingers in a finger stand, lean into the lunge. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, table. Exhale, child's. Inhale, back to table. And exhale, downward facing dog. Right leg forward, left knee down, fingers in a finger stand, low lunge. Exhale, step forward, standing forward fold. Inhale, toes out, heels in, squat. Exhale, toes back in, forward fold. Inhale, lift and rise all the way up, arms reach. Exhale, heart. Last time, left side, inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Toes out, heels in, inhale, squat. Exhale, fold. Left is in a finger stand, lean into it. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, child's. Inhale, table. Exhale, down dog. Left leg through, right knee down, fingers in a finger stand, low lunge. Exhale, step forward, standing forward fold. Inhale, toes out, squat. Exhale, toes back in, forward fold. Inhale, lift and rise all the way up as you reach. And exhale, hands to heart. And now just be here, either hands at your heart or down by your sides. And notice the different quality of the movement salutations. Maybe that sense of a little more stability. Big toes touching or space between the heels. Inhale, the arms reach up. And exhale, forward fold. So this time we're going to step the left leg back first. And then if you need extra padding under your knee, flip your mat over. So in a low lunge, with your fingers in a finger stand, we're going to take our hands on the inside of the foot. Walk your right toes out so they're just at a slight angle so that as you bend into the knee, you can make sure that the knee and the toes are in alignment. Back knee's on the floor. It's okay to let this knee go over the ankle. If that back knee was lifted, we'd have to stay at a right angle. So really allow the groin to stretch here. Let some weight or go into that. And if you want to go a little deeper, you can bring forearms to the floor. And if you're letting the forearms come to the floor, head and neck can really hang here. Looking either at the knee or at the navel, just give in. Again, finding that grounding energy, using gravity to do the work. Full, complete breaths. Breathe right into the areas of sensation. And one more here. Then walk the hands back underneath the shoulders, and you can roll to the outside edge of the right foot. And as you do, the inside of the hip will open up just a little bit more, getting that rotator. Breathe into it. Feel the stretch. It's similar to that pigeon pose. So many of us are tight here. And then release the foot back down. Hands on either side of the foot. Tuck the back toes under. If your mat was flipped, flip it straight. But stay on the ball of your back foot, straighten the front leg, and push firmly into the front toes. So it's almost like you're pointing the toes. Head and neck is relaxed here. Surrender the upper body over the leg. So not only are we going to get a nice opening there through the back of the leg, but also a little anterior stretch here as we push into those toes. One more breath. Let the head and neck really hang. Good. And now we're going to move a little bit into a variation of push into that front foot, put weight forward, bend to the front knee, lift the heart forward and up. Exhale, pull the navel towards the back body. So use that as your hook to really lift the body back up into the same position we were just in. Do it again. Inhale, lean forward. Let the heart come forward through the shoulders, feeling the deepening of that stretch. And now exhale, it's like someone's got a hook on your belly button, pulling you up. Good. 3 more with your breath here, please. Inhale. Each time getting a little more space. Exhale. Remember that as you inhale and you come forward, because the back knee is lifted, you're only going to a right angle. Navel comes in and up. Now last one here, we're going to go into that front leg, into the high lunge position and push into one-legged standing forward fold. So left leg's going to lift. Now we're just going to come right down to the floor. Bring the knee to the floor, surrendering there, and then inhale, press into the right leg and come back up. Do it again. Exhale, bring the knee down behind the ankle, top of the foot grounds. And inhale, come back up. Good. 3 more like this. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. 1 more. And then swing that left foot forward to meet the front, feet about hip distance apart, standing forward fold. Let's just let the hands soften on the floor, but if you prefer to grab onto the either elbow, that's perfectly fine. Feel both feet secured into the floor. Head and neck is completely relaxed. Inhale, we're going to slowly come up to halfway. Let the blood level out for a moment. Arms extend wide. Turn the palms up, press into the feet, come the rest of the way up, reach the arms overhead. And then again down the center line, right to the heart. Stay here or arms by your side for just a moment. Full inhale, full exhale. Feel the sediment in the water settling down to the bottom. Mind growing clearer. Inhale, the arms reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Step the right leg back this time and flip your mat over so you can have that knee with a little bit of padding if you need it. Hands are going to go on the inside of the left leg. And now toes are going to point towards that left corner so that when we bend into the knee and the toes are in this. Really get that sensation of opening up the inner groin. And those of you with a little more flexibility, you may want to bring the forearms to the floor. And when you do, head and neck can really hang here, looking at the back knee or navel. Breathe deeply into the stretch, so send the breath there. Let gravity do the work. Think of the tension in the body like that sediment and let it be pulled down to settling. One more. Now bring your hands back under your shoulders, and we're just going to roll to the outside of the left foot. So getting that nice stretch there for the hip. Again, kind of feeling that rotator that's similar to a pigeon pose. And so many of us get tight in this area of the body. And breathe deeply here. One more breath. Good. Now coming back, we're going to release the hands on either side of the foot. Tuck your back toes under. Your mat can go back to normal. And then keep the back heel lifted. Lean forward, letting the upper body really surrender over that front leg. And keep the front leg long. If you need a little micro bend in the knee, that's fine, but just a micro bend. Really try to keep that front leg straight. And now push into the front toes as if you were pointing the toes. So you feel a lift in the arch of that foot. Head and neck is relaxed here. Just breathe. Again, working through the layers of tension as you surrender, more space being created. Navel hugs back body on exhalation. Two more. So if you stay longer than a half hour, longer than a half minute, the body starts to acclimate to the posture. But prior to that, it's still trying to figure everything out. Now, fingers in a finger stand, you're going to lean forward, bending that front knee, bring the heart forward through the shoulders, and feel all that space. And now exhale like someone's got a hook on that belly button. Lift back up into the position you were just in. Do it again. Inhale, lean forward. Heart comes forward through the shoulders. Exhale, pull up and back. Good. 3 more with your breath, please. Last one. Now, as you finish, you're going to go back into the high lunge position and put weight into that front foot. Take the right leg up in the air. But we're not going to stay there, so bring the knee down just behind the heel and then push into that supporting leg and reach the right leg up and again. Again, come down, knee behind the ankle. Press down, reach up. Good. 2 more. Really anchor into that supporting leg. The more you anchor down, the lighter that top leg's going to feel. And then step it forward, standing forward fold again, feet will be hip distance apart. And either you can have the hands on the floor or you can hold on to the elbows, providing a little extra traction. And now breathe into the forward fold. Everything settles. Press down in the feet. Slowly come up to halfway. Arms are extending out wide. Crown away from tailbone. And then press into the feet. Turn the palms up. Come the rest of the way up. Palms touch. Exhale, hands to heart. Again, you can either leave the hands at the heart or just bring them down by your side. But we want to feel that whole settling, all that sediment, all the busyness of the mind, just going down to the feet, completely letting go. One more breath here. Very nice. So inhale, the arms reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale halfway to monkey pose, flat back. And then exhale, step back to plank position. And we're gonna hold plank for a few moments. So just this feeling of like really drawing the navel toward the back body, pressing down through the hands, lifting that space behind the heart, just connecting to that core stability, really anchoring down. Now lower the left knee to the floor, and you can keep your toes pointing towards your right foot as you spin on that outside of that right foot. Take the right arm up in the air. And just come into this side plank variation. I always like the level 1 variation here because you can get so much space by pushing into the outside edge of the back foot. And if you'd like to go a little further, take the top arm up and over the head. And now that long line of energy from the fingertips to the outer foot, breathe into it. Two more here. And then if you want to challenge, see if you can press down into that shin and take the right leg up in the air. And now really finding your balance here. Breathe into it. One more. Good, then lower that foot back down. We're going to press down into the leg, turn the left toes towards the back wall, and slowly come back up. Right hand's going to go on the thigh. Inhale the left arm up and over the head, and now find your gait pose, your Padikasana gait, opening up that left lateral. Anchoring down through the left knee, whole side body is expanding. Shoulder head pulls down into its socket to create room between the shoulder and the ear. Navel continues to contract towards the back body on exhalation. One more here. And then we'll come back up. Take the left hand back down under the shoulder. Bring the right hand down and step your left knee back so you're back into that plank position. And then just hold that and breathe. So again, feeling the navel hug the back body, nice and firm. And now we'll do the other side. So bring the right knee down, spin the left foot flat. And again, you've got the toes pointing towards the arch of the left foot. Lift the left arm up. Breathe here. So as you anchor that outer foot, you can almost feel like it's pressing into the wall behind you. And then if you want to take the top arm up and over the head for extended, fingertips away from toes. Long line of energy, breathe into it. Navel hugs the back body. Again, try to get that shoulder away from the ear. Neck is nice and long. Two more breaths. Now, if you want to challenge, you're going to press down into that shin and try to lift the left leg up in the air. Challenging for the balance, challenging for the core. Breathe into it. Don't hold the breath. And now step that foot back. You're going to turn those toes towards the back wall. Slowly come back up into standing on the knee. Extend the left hand down to the thigh. Reach the right arm up and over the head. And now you're reversing it into Padikasana Gait Pose. So his right arm goes up and over the head, that full lateral stretch. Maybe even feeling it all the way down into the hip. Head of the right shoulder goes down into its socket, creating space there between the ear and the shoulder. Breathe here. One more. And then slowly lift up with that right arm. Come back to neutral. This time we're just going to step the left knee in and sit tall on our heels. If that's uncomfortable, again, you can always use the block. Place the left hand under the belly, the right hand on top. Thumbs touch and close the eyes. Again, feel for that settling. Just letting everything settle. Mind clear, breath steady. Okay, so we're going to take the arms out wide, stay in this seated position, and then bring your right arm over, out in front of you, your left arm over, and then rotate your palms together. So we're coming into eagle arms. And then you're going to lift the elbows up as high as you can. And then as you exhale, you're going to lower them as low as you can while staying upright. So again, inhale, lift them as high as you can. And exhale, lower them as low as you can. And this idea here of like flossing the shoulder blades, just moving in and out of an area of the body that tends to be very tight. 2 more. Last one. And then we'll release the arms, let them fly for a moment, and take them behind you into Yoga Mudra. Pull the knuckles away, so interlacing the fingers and pull the knuckles away. And now take those knuckles to the right waist. Bring the right elbow in and tilt the right ear to the right shoulder. Make sure that the abdomen is drawing towards the back body and you're not poking the low ribs out. Breathe here. And now tilt your left ear to your left shoulder. And just see if there's a difference there. Good. Head back to neutral. Release the knuckles behind you. And then extend the arms out wide again. This time left arm goes forward. Right arm goes over at the elbow. Rotate the palms together. Back to eagle arms on the other side. Inhale, lift the elbows as high as you can. Exhale without contracting the body. Just bring the elbows down as low as you can. And 4 more like that, please, with your breath. Now, depending on where you carry your attention, you might feel one side more than the other. Just think of this as cleaning and clearing out anything that's been stuck in those tight areas behind the heart. Very nice. On the last one, you're going to release the arms out wide. Interlace your fingers behind your back again. Pull the knuckles away from you, so Yoga Mudra. And now take the hands to the left waist. Pull the left elbow in. Tilt the right ear to your left ear to your left shoulder to start. Notice if there's any difference between the right and left side. And again, if we're trying to avoid sensation, it's easy to poke those low ribs out. So hug the abdomen towards the back body. Maybe even feeling it up into the neck. Such a great stretch. And head goes back to neutral. Take the hands to take the head to the opposite side. So right ear to right shoulder. And just see if there's a difference. Okay, head back to neutral. Release the hands back to Yoga Mudra one more time. And now shake out the wrists. Release the hands, shake the wrists. And then roll the shoulders a few times toward the back wall. And then roll them a few times toward the front wall. We're going to come into shoulder stand, but I want to give options for that if that's not something that's in your practice or not comfortable. So option number 1, and it's ideal to have a block with you. Option number 1 is to just come flat onto your back with your legs straight up in the air. Perfectly fine, you can just stay here. And especially if you're at the beginning of your cycle or you are feeling like any kind of strain or stress in the upper back is not happening in your practice today. Option number 2 is to do the same thing essentially, but you come into bridge pose and take the block underneath your sacrum. You want to ideally put it on the tallest edge, but the middle edge is fine, and so is the flat edge. Then you'll allow the legs to go straight up in the air, and this is that modification of Viparita Karani Mudra. If you're going to come into shoulder stand, then it's helpful if you have a blanket that you can put near the top of your mat. And then you'd allow that blanket to come down about a quarter of the way down. The top roll is nice and soft, so you don't have the fringe there. And then you're going to flip your mat over so you'll have that sticky mat padding underneath. And you want to have the shoulder about an inch from the top roll. So you can measure that out, kind of gauge with your own hands. So that the idea is when you roll up, the shoulders stay on the mat, but everything else, the neck, the head, is all off. And then take your time. You're going to roll the legs over the head. Wiggle one shoulder under you and then the other. Hands onto the lower back, as high up as you can get it, and then straighten the legs. And now breathe here. Don't twist your head in any direction. Keep it perfectly straight if you're in the full shoulder stand. Breathing, full inhales, full exhales. If you like a little more Mula Bandha action, you can cross the ankles and just squeeze the inner thighs toward one another. We want the legs a little bit more in alignment with the spine than with the head. Breathing here. Try to settle that sediment. Technically, shoulder stand is a relaxing inversion. And if you were crossing the ankles, you could try crossing them the other way, about halfway through. Two more breaths. Nice and slow. And then you can release the legs if you're in shoulder stand over your head. If you're in Viparita Karana, you can stay there for a few extra moments. Take the shoulders out from underneath you and then wrap your arms around the backs of your legs. One vertebrae at a time, you're going to roll down through your spine. So really feel each bone articulate into the earth. Take your time, and if you have the blanket there, remember there'll be that little bit of a bump. That's okay. It was worth it to have the protection for the neck. And then when you get to the bottom, you can just hug your knees into your chest. Good, one more full breath here. And if you were in the Viparita Karani Mudra variation, bring your legs down into the bridge pose again. Release the block from underneath your sacrum. And let the spine come down again to the earth. And then also hug your knees into your chest. Good. Let's roll over onto our right side. Just take a moment to let all that settle. And then push into the hand and come back up into a seated position. You can release the blanket. And from here, we're going to come onto our belly. Tops of the feet ground. Feet are about 4 to 6 inches apart. Line your fingertips up with the tops of your shoulders. Pull your elbows in. For a few rounds, forehead to the mat, we're going to do dynamic cobra. So pushing into the pubic bone, just lift up halfway. So have the low ribs remain on the floor. And then exhale, come back down. Keep the neck neutral. Do it again. Inhale. Come up just to low ribs. And then exhale, forehead to mat. Good. 3 more like this, please. Inhaling, exhaling. Try to lighten the load on your hands so you're isolating the work in the muscles of the back. Very nice. One more. Lifting up. Now try and lift the legs. And then release the arms if it's comfortable. Holding locust here for a few moments. Activating those muscles of the back of the neck to counter some of the work of shoulder stand. 2 more breaths. Lift as high as you can. And then come down and turn your cheek to one side and relax completely. Feel that little bit of a twist for the neck. Breathe here. right into the kidneys. Turn your cheek to the other side. Good, and then hands press up underneath the shoulders. Bring the hips to sitting back on the heels. Once again, tall spine, relaxed body. And left hand under the belly, right hand on top, thumbs touch. Close the eyes and just feel. Notice the sediment. And is a relatively clear water, clear mind, the new experience? Less thoughts, less busyness. Good. We're going to open the legs out wide for Upavishta Konasana. So hips to the right, extend the legs out. Nice wide forward fold. If you'd like, you can bring your hands down in front of you and scoot your pelvis forward so that you want that anterior tilt or the pelvis moving down. Of course, if you're really tight in the legs, you're welcome also to put your blanket underneath your hips, and that will do that for you. So we're going to do some movement here. So fingertips into a finger stand. You're going to inhale, lift the heart as high as you can, and then exhale and walk forward. Bend the elbows out wide and dip the heart towards the earth. Now, like that hook, on your exhale, pull the navel towards the back body. Inhale, lift the sternum up. So it's almost like a wave. Exhaling, coming down. Inhaling. Inhaling as you come up. Let me get that breathing right for you. So it's an exhale as you come down. Bend the elbows out wide. Let the heart come forward. Inhale as you come up. 3 more. Maybe noticing each time a little more space. Now here we'll stay, so you can bring the forearms down or the whole upper body down, whatever you're comfortable with. If you have a block, you can place it underneath your forehead. But the idea here is to get very relaxed, very comfortable. And you want to feel that settling down again, that idea of all the sediment, all the busyness just seeping to the floor. Let gravity take it. Belly breathing. Nice. Now, one more breath here. And we're going to stay relatively low in the body and just walk over to the right side. And feel that twist there and then fold over the leg. It doesn't matter how far down you go. Just notice the navel rotation. Keep pressing and anchoring into your left supporting leg. And let the upper body soften to the best of its ability over the right. Breathe into any areas that feel tight. Good, last one. Then slowly come up, but again, you're going to stay down a little bit here as you scoot and walk your hands over to the opposite side. Rotate the navel over that left leg, and then again, come down into the forward fold to the best of your ability. So what I really want you to feel is that navel rotation first, and then work on the forward bending. Each inhale expands the belly. Each exhale contracts it back to the spine. Two more. Very nice. And then slowly come up. Once again, we're going to find center. So stay kind of low. And now fold back over the center and notice if there's any change, any difference in how far you can go, how comfortable you feel. Just breathe into it. And then slowly walk your hands back. Take your time, sit tall, and just feel. You can close your eyes if you'd like for a moment. And once again, just that sediment settling down to the very bottom. Total stillness. Okay, so we're going to bring one hand under one knee, the other hand under the other knee, and just guide the knees back to center. Wrap your arms around them and bring your forehead down. Rest them on top of the knees. And then from there, we're going to roll onto our backs. So holding onto those shin bones, navel towards the spine, slowly come down onto the back and hug the knees in as deeply as you can. Good. So we're going to work on a little twisting here. Left leg is going to extend long to the floor. Pull the right knee into your chest as best as you can, feeling that separation between the inner thighs, all that space there. Maybe even a little compression for the right thigh. And now take that right leg straight up in the air. You can wrap the arms around the back of the leg. Press up through the heel, particularly the inner side of the heel. Now bend your left knee for a moment so that your foot is flat on the floor. And arms down by your side, pick your hips up and shift them to the right. Then straighten the left leg again. And now this right leg is going to go over the body, over to the left. Now arms can open up into a T. If you feel more secure with the palms down, that's fine too. But with that right leg, let it hover. Don't let it go all the way to the floor. Let it hover just a few inches, maybe 6 inches or a foot above the ground. And now turn your toes towards the floor and lift your heel up a little higher. And notice that sensation, that stretch there for the outside of the hip. At the same time, concentrate on the navel rotating deeper to the right. So a very deep twist here. And interestingly enough, it's deeper, not bringing the foot to the floor. Gaze can be over that right shoulder. Just a couple more breaths. And now bend the knee. And this time you can take the knee all the way down to the floor, or if that's too intense, I like sometimes to make a fist with my hand and just place it underneath the knee. And now in this top arm, you're going to reach the top right arm over the head And then exhale and turn your navel to the right a little deeper and bend the elbow down like a goalpost arm. Do it again. Inhale, arm reaches up over the head, getting as much length through the side body as possible. And now bend the elbow, slide the hand down, gaze a little further to the right, navel rotates a little deeper to the right. So just 3 more like that, please, with your breath. Inhaling, top arm over the head. Exhale, navel in, bend the elbow down towards the side body. 2 more. And then on this last one, we're going to stay. So you're welcome to stay with the elbow bent down towards your side, navel rotating deeper to the right, or if you just want to bring the arm back out into a T shape, that's fine too. Gazing over the right side, full rotation here for the spine. Just breathe. Keep relaxing through the abdomen. Bottom supporting leg is anchored firmly into the floor. Inner thigh rotating down slightly. Two more breaths. Nice. And then on your inhale, take the right arm back up and over the head. And then bring the hand to the outside of the knee and guide the knee back up to center. Now you're going to be crooked kind of on your mat, so bring the feet flat and just pick the hips up and shift yourself back into neutral. And now we'll do the other side. So left knee into your chest. Extend your right leg long to the floor. And really take your time with that. So enjoy pulling the knee in, reaching through the groin. Compression there for the top of the left thigh. Now, bending your right knee foot flat, you're going to pick your hips up and shift them over to the left. So take a fairly long stance there and then lower the leg back down. Extend your left leg up in the air and now take it over your body till the leg hovers about 6 inches or a foot above the ground. And arms can be extended out wide or palms can face down. Now rotate the big toe down towards the floor and lift the left heel just a little bit higher. And notice that sensation there in the twist. So you can feel gravity doing some of the work here. And that's at the same time that rotation gets us into kind of an interesting part of the outer hip that we don't always access. And then if you'd like, turn your gaze to the left, and that'll deepen the twist even more so that the full spine is experiencing the twist. One more here. Good. Now bend the knee. Again, if you need a little extra padding, you can bring the knee all the way to the floor, or if you need extra padding, just place the fist underneath the knee. It's like acts like a block. And then inhale the top arm over the head. And then exhale, bend the elbow like a goalpost and look more deeply over that left shoulder, twisting the navel more to the left. Do it again. Inhale, top arm lifts, elongates over the body, and then exhale, squeeze the elbow down towards the rib cage, navel rotating to the left. Good. 3 more, please. Using your breath to assist, making the posture just a little deeper, the action deeper. The last one here. And now stay. And you could either stay with the arm in a goalpost, or you could extend the arm out long, palm facing up, gaze stays over the left shoulder. Secure your bottom leg, so really press firmly into it and rotate the inner thigh towards the floor. And then the rest is really done with the breath and that letting go. Full inhale, full exhales. And we've got one more full, complete breath here. And then we'll slowly use the fist under the knee to guide the knee back to center. Bend both knees, both feet flat. Pick your hips up and shift them back to center. And then wait for the spine to settle. Bring your knees into your chest again, Apanasana. And just rock a little bit from side to side on the spine. It's a very deep twist. All right, hands on top of the knees, fingers point towards the toes. Just inhale the knees away to arm's distance. And exhale, bring your knees back to your chest. Inhale, knees away to arm's distance. Lighten the load on the fingertips. Exhale, bring your knees back to your chest. And just a couple here until you feel that that lower back is really happy. Everything's come back into a sense of balance from the asymmetry work we just did. And then we'll prepare for Shavasana. So extending the legs down to the floor. If you have socks or sweaters, you want to put them on now, just to let the body temperature cool down slowly. Grab an eye pillow if you're in a lighted room. Blanket's great. If you need a bolster, put a bolster underneath your knees. And then settle in. So feet will be a little wider than hip distance apart. Arms are down by your sides, palms face up. Tuck your shoulder blades underneath you. Take an inhale in through the nostrils and make a sigh sound through the mouth. So it's a sigh with some sound. It's like this. Do that a few more times. And now just let it settle. Let go of any control of the breath. Let the body breathe just as it feels it needs to. Let gravity pull on the physical body. And imagine all that sediment is secured to the bottom. What's left is crystal clear perception. So very slowly begin to deepen your breath. As the breath comes back in, directed into the belly. Easy belly breaths. And then as the belly continues to breathe, just run your thumb across your fingertips. Roll your wrists. Wiggle your toes and then roll your ankles. Drawing the knees into the chest. Just take a moment there to hug them deeply towards the abdomen, lengthening the tailbone away from the crown of the head. Feeling anchored and stable. And then roll over onto your right side into fetal. Arm under the head as a pillow and rest. Again, here too, everything settles in the spine. And then placing the hand into the earth, slowly come back up into seated. Head and neck heavy, eyes closed as you come up. And you can prop your sit bones up for a moment of meditation. Sitting with a tall spine, relaxed body, just place the hands on the knees, join the index and thumb together. I'd like to do a pranic scan, so sometimes we call it a pranic bath. So visualize for a moment yourself in seated position and notice around you golden light, light of healing. See that light like an aura surrounding the body, reaching out around you at least a foot, maybe more, you can feel. And now we're going to take that light that we can see and feel and concentrate it around the area above the crown of the head. So if it's helpful, you can give it the shape of a sphere of golden light concentrated above the crown of the head. Sometimes when you see those pictures of saints and sages and they have that glow around their crown, you can imagine it like this. And then we're going to consciously direct that accumulation of prana, direct it down through the body. And as we do, I want to feel that that light is able to permeate, to heal, to nourish every single cell on its way down. And you can see and feel those cells receiving that light, taking in that nourishment. And what you may find is that there's areas where the prana absorbs quickly, and other areas where it feels a little tight or stuck or resistant. And just be patient as you wait for the body to receive the light. So when you're ready, beginning at the crown, begin to consciously open up the crown of the head and allow that golden healing light to come in through the crown, permeating every single cell and tissue, receiving that light, that healing. Moving down from the crown, past the skull, moving into the brain, the membranes surrounding the brain, into the brain stem itself. Continue to slowly move down the body in this way. By now, getting closer towards the throat. And down towards the heart. Be patient. Starting to reach into navel center. Down towards the hips now. No rush. Take your time to move through pelvic floor, legs, and feet. And there's no rush. But when you do finish, feeling the light that was around you equal to and equally illuminating within you, so that the boundary of your skin dissolves into that pure golden light. And then lowering your chin to your chest. Just bring your hands back to your heart, head bowed to the hands, and return to the intention that we set at the beginning of the practice. This idea of using our practice as a way to settle all the busyness, all the disruption, all the stirring, so that we can create clear seeing, clear mind, clear perception. And then let's just finish the chant with Om Shanti 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 Hi. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste.